Welcome in, viewers and listeners. You're tuned in to the 4 o'clock insights on KCAA Radio 106.5, 1050 AM. Once again, the James Kane is back, ready to roll into some interesting but serious topics. But first of all, I want to welcome in my inner circle,
Skittles.
and I'm your host, James Kane. And this is the James Kane Experience. Well, let's get into a little news and notes before we get into the first segment. And don't be alarmed, it's going to be about cannibalism. It's because cannibalism is what is corroding today's American cities. So we're going to tap into that. In the second segment, you know what we got reading for the blind. In the third segment, it's Inland Raider and Skittles weekly sports recap. Well, let's keep it rolling. What we're going to say today is congratulations to the Lutheran, I think it's called Lutheran, but it's the Wellness Center that just opened up in San Bernardino
Oh,
for a
okay.
lot of people that are homeless or any persons in need. And the
Uh huh.
mayor just opened it up and they cut the tape and they got 120 something individuals in this massive campus, as they call it. So if you want to donate, you can go to your local Inland Empire newsletter or wherever you get your news from the Inland Empire, and it should take you there. Second of all, we see what's going all around with all the things going on in the black community. And today we'd like to take out a 5 second moment of silence for all those young black men who lost their lives. Thank you for that. Well, let's get into cannibalistic cities. Are you a cannibal? So I asked myself that one day. I said, cannibalism, do you eat human flesh?
Yeah.
So I said, what is really the definition of a cannibal? And I realized that there are 5 traits of a cannibalistic person. So in the next 4 weeks, we're going to be breaking down these 5 traits that destroy the city. So after these 5 weeks or 4 weeks, we're going to ask you, are you that cannibal that's eating away the people in your neighborhood? So we're going to get into the question involving cannibalistic behavior in the city. And we're going to start with today is severe violence. Skittles, can you read that for us?
So the question regarding race, crime, and violence in America are deeply complex. They involve a mix of history, trauma, modern social, economic, and media representation. Sorry.
Now, we what's going to shock you is what we talk about in our next paragraph. Because as you see, social, media, and economics play the key role in how you become a cannibalistic
Yeah.
person is because these traits that you have produces severe violence which causes you to react on something that mentally someone has implanted in your brain and have you thinking this is how you should react. And we'll get to generational. So, Skittles, you have
Yes.
anything to say about that part, the social, media, and economic structure of the question of severe violence being produced?
No, I honestly don't, but it's crazy because I never really thought to like look deep into cannabis lism. Of course, we see it today on movies. We see it a lot on horror movies. Um, but I am aware that it does go deeper, and it goes deeper into our history as well.
Yes. Okay. Can you read us that next paragraph, please?
Yes, while white Americans commit the largest absolute number of violent crimes in the U.S. because they make up the majority of the population. Now, Black Americans are specifically overrepresented in violent crime statistics relative to their population size.
Now, as we just, I mean, this is per FBI.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something I just came up with. And the key word they said because
Yeah.
per capita. So now I ask you a question is why is blacks betrayed the most violent when they're not? And they know they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They harm themselves.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
why are so many other non-black communities always saying blacks are violent when they're not the most violent?
Mm-mm.
Now we're not saying that whites are just killing up everybody,
Yeah.
but
No.
historically and per FBI report,
Mm-hmm.
they are the most violent because their population is the biggest. But I say to you, if you commit one murder,
Mm-hmm.
it's equal to 10.
Yeah.
But you can't commit 10 murders and say, oh, no, I'm not as bad as the guy who committed one. Because that per capita is just saying your population, because your population is high in your population because it's small.
Mm-hmm.
But 200 murders compared to 100 murders is still more than 100 murders because 200 is still more.
Yeah.
No matter population per capita, no, it's still. This is not a racial issue, but I just brought this out because I want my viewers to understand that interracial violence is what is really going on. 80% of white violent crime is done on white Americans.
Mm-hmm.
70% of black on black crime is done by black Americans onto themselves, and so on. Hispanics.
Yes.
So now we get to the media. We
Mm-hmm.
don't see that. Why we don't see police videos of police holding down non-black people, shooting them and calling them violence. So we got to call out the media as well, is because you're
Yes.
picking and choosing what's happening when there's being violent offenders somewhere else that commit more than the violent offenders that you're showing.
Yes.
Sad but true. Can you read the next? If you have anything to speak on that, Skills. If not, let's move on to the
All
next
right.
stuff.
So, how does a community cross that line? It requires a systematic lack of empathy, so total that it becomes generational.
Can you read that one more time?
How does a community cross the line? And then that's a question for everybody. It requires a systematic lack of empathy, so total that it becomes generational.
Now, that's what I was just speaking of a minute ago, how it becomes generational. People are taught this. This
Yes.
is a learned behavior by the economics, saying that you don't have money because these people. That's
Mm-hmm.
the same garbage Hitler used for the Jews. And it's still being done today. It's just on a different people.
Yes.
Or we can use the word race, but we know in sociology, race doesn't even exist.
It doesn't.
So, but we'll use it, for these purposes that everyone can understand that they're using the social
Mm-hmm.
against the financial, And they're using the media to perpetrate for the social. So everyone can say it's these people, while the elite and the people who's really the haves can control the have not, no matter what race they are. Because here we go again. Per FBI, interracial, that means whites harm more whites, blacks harm more blacks, Hispanics harm more Hispanics. So we're running around here scared, looking at our neighbor next door when it's actually the people we go to church with. Ooh, the church. We'll get to that because church, you play a key role too.
Yeah.
Because just think of the church population. It's not just the people that you think, it's the people behind the scenes that have these views, but don't want nobody to know, huh? Sounds like a politician. But let's move on, Skittles.
Okay, so let's talk about severe violence can occur in neighborhoods of every racial or ethnic background, while also acknowledging that the cases often involve a combination of social, economic, family, and cultural factors rather than race itself, like you said.
Well, we understand because interracial violence. And we realize that all we do is harm people who look like us. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, there's still segregated cities.
Yeah.
And you have white areas. You have black areas, which I don't know none. In California, I really don't know a black city. I just don't. You know, I can go Monterey Park, mainly age. We have a lot of
Yeah.
cities in especially Southern California. Now, Northern California, maybe. But Southern California, I don't know of a black dominant city. Now, they may have a section of that city or community that black people really don't go out of, so they see themselves as being this large mass of people. But when we look at it on a large scale, it's tiny. It's really tiny.
Yeah.
And you look at 13% of the United States population, 13%. As I said before last year, if you're 13%, don't we work on the whole pie, which is 100%?
100%. Yeah.
So that means 13%, you got how much more? 87% more, not you. When it comes to violence and severe violence, that means, as it says, someone is committing more serious violent offenses. Now, we're going to move on because the media is exploiting
Yes.
the situation more than it really has to. And I'm really speaking to the people who want to resolve the issue because these are things that you can stop violence. And we're going to get to some of the coping mechanisms or the mechanics or programs, systems that you can use because wherever there's a problem, there's a solution. It's just if you want the solution. And I know some of you listening to me now don't want the solution because you like where you at. But things can change and times can change. And that's when fear comes in. And I call it FOLC. FOLC. FOLC is sort of the cousin of FOMO, fear of missing out. It's called fear of losing control. Now, how many people you know at work, your neighborhood, in real estate, everything, people are working on FOLC, a fear of losing control to their neighborhood, losing control to the job force, ownership, their food, whatever it may be, you will find it. Relationships
Yeah.
work on fear of losing control. That's why a lot of men fight with women physically because they fear of losing control. Women, they argue more verbally, and that's why the divorce rate is high in America, because if you can't control someone, you must get rid of them. That should be kicked out and really examined on why do we feel this way. We're one of the powerfulest countries in the world.
Yeah.
But when we lose control, we lose our mind. We become severely violent.
Yes.
Anything you want to add to that, Skittles?
No, you said it all.
Okay, let's roll on to the next passage.
All right, so let's kind of rewind back. How does a community cross the lines into severe violence when children repeatedly experience or witness violence, abuse, addiction, or chronic neglect without considering intervention? Violence can begin to some normal rather than shocking. Over generations, this can weakness, empathy, trust, and healthy.
Yes, it can. It can weaken the trust that we have. See, communities must have a fundamental trust
Yes.
with its neighbors and everyone, because when you invest in a community, it's not made for just now. It's
Yes.
made for the future. This is where you bear children. This is where you rear children. This is where that community resources, taxes, everybody's in that community to make this area better for each other, not for themselves, but for each other. So why, when I ask you this, why do we teach our kids how to be violent against other kids? They say in school, no bullying
Yeah.
tolerated.
Yeah.
But we had an all-time high of kids bullying kids. So
That is true.
therefore, these schools, the parents is not doing a good job, or because they're grooming the next generation because they feel they got somewhere. They feel they got something. They feel they're better than their neighbor. So they want to keep that. They don't want to lose control. So what they do is take that control, put it in a social gathering, and hand it over to the media, podcasts, all these things. That's why I just want to say this real quick. If you really look at a podcast or a radio station, who get the most views? Who acts the most foolish? Fighting, baddies,
Yep. Baddies.
gangster. I'm a gangster. I'm doing this and I'm doing
Yeah,
that.
that
Now
is true.
we know in rap that 90% of rap is fake. Them dudes is not out there doing all that.
Yeah.
We know it. It's okay. But the black community can label because these small group of individuals is out there rapping.
Yeah.
They're talking about a fantasy that they just want you to think there's certain type of way. Now you do have those who do it and you see the outcome. So they trial and error. They go try it and next thing you know they're locked up or they're doing this or doing that. We see how it ends and it don't end good. So you can try it if you want to, but when you get the results, don't get mad.
Yeah.
Don't blame it. Oh, they're racist because they locked me up. No.
No.
It was on social media with a handgun.
You.
That's talking about what you gonna do, not to them, your own people. And you know what? Sometimes they say, look here, Mr. Idiot. Look here. What you talking about is asinine. But
Yes.
why we can't say that? Why we gotta pump him a ha laugh and tell him, look at the little homie, he crazy. No, he ain't.
No, he not.
That's straight dummism. What they use it as DAF. So we're just we gonna keep going on with how we're raising. See, that's what's the problem. We give this rap personality into our children. They get to believe in this. And the churches, something is wrong in the churches. It's because most black people was raised up in the church.
Yeah.
Why did your kids leave to hang out with these dudes on the block? Why? Why do they feel their love is from the homies, the young homies or the big homies that you can see out there running up and down the street, around the corner, hanging at the park, doing whatever. Now, I'm not going to say all people from
Yeah.
certain neighborhoods because the hood is just short for neighborhood. They took the word hood
Hood.
and made it into something that symbols cannibalism, eating your own people. So you're eating them. When people go to jail, they disappear. When they take your resources and the taxes that your people can't pay no more, then demographics kick in and the people who's paying the taxes get the resources, get the money. You done ate up your resources and the money. So how do you think your community is going to strive? It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. And you know it's not. And all you old people, I understand the disconnect from the young because some of you elders need to be put in your place because some of y'all psychological damage y'all
Yeah.
doing to the young people is just totally outrageous. And then what we do as people, we blame each other. We blame the dope man. Oh, the dope man is the reason why our neighborhoods are suffering because of drugs. That's a
That's a
part of it.
yeah.
But that's not the whole. What about the people ain't on drugs? What you doing with your money? Why are you losing in the community because interracial? Interracial is the same thing as inner drug use. Most white people use drugs. Most black people use drugs. Not saying most of the population, but what I'm saying is mostly is every race has a significant amount of people on drugs. And when I say drugs, alcohol.
Alcohol.
Merck is probably the biggest drug dealer in the world because pharmaceutical medication is what? Drugs.
Drugs.
You can't get around it. When you go to the doctor and you go take that Tylenol, it's mixed with drugs. It's
Drugs.
mixed with something, and it ain't just no iced tea or no lemonade or no holistic, and even holistic sometimes because you're dealing with plants and
Yes.
different organisms that toxic the brain, that become toxic to the brain. So we're not just saying meth, even though we have a serious meth problem and you see it.
Yeah.
But guess what? Media social, because it's not the social people that they want to say, oh, you know what? We got a problem. That's why I'm talking to blacks is because the problem is you're believing what they selling you. And they've been selling you things you've been buying that's only good for a moment. It's not good for long term. So they've been selling you products that's going to be defective in 5 to 10 years. Look where it got us.
Yeah.
It got us being more poor and them being more rich. And you know what I'm talking about because the economists are talking about it. They talk about it every day. It's a thing in there about raising your children. This is what we're talking about. Because if we focus more on finances, I'm sorry about that. I was getting to, before I get back to that part of my speech, they say black economics or the black economy will drop significantly down to zero by 2050. Now, I know conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories, but I listen to all financial professors. I don't care what nationality I listen to them because all of them have great, profound statements or
Yeah.
theories. So I listen to them all. If this the fact, then the severe violence in black cities is killing off our finances. That's one part of raising a cannibalistic person is taking his finances away. So he can't eat what he's supposed to. So now what does he do? He feeds
Yeah.
off the flesh in his neighborhood, what he see. interracial violence because that's the only thing around him. And he has to eat to survive. It's energy. So who are you going to eat today? Are you going to say, you know what I heard on the James Kane Experience today, I'm going to change my way of thinking because I'm tired of eating humans. I want to eat something that will keep me surviving for the next centuries to come, decades to come. I want my grandchildren to understand and be motivated to have a learned behavior of success and defend yourself when it needs to be defended. Because there's nothing wrong with defense, but there's something wrong with always being on offense. Skittles, you got anything to say on that?
No, not at all. So this doesn't not mean communities are permanently lost. History shows that communities can change through strong families, mentoring, effective schools, faith, organization, and communities, leadership, trauma, informed care, and opportunities that give young people hope and promise.
Right. Now, as we get into, as I kind of summed that up earlier, that I'm more worried about the children because
Yes.
some of us now are just they, as they used to say in the old time, they don't believe fat meat is greasy. Because I can go on and on about how the black community always blame gang violence
Yeah.
and drug use, but me myself, I blame more of the leaders, the church people. It's because for the one reason, what are y'all doing with your revenue? What are y'all doing with your resources? It's because I see other people have the same problems in their community and they're prospering. They're prospering. You never heard someone in a white community, Hispanic community saying that their economics may take a severe downfall. So Jesus always said, who has not sinned, throw the first stone. So it's time to get away from this blame game and take accountability for each individual. It's because those young men you calling gang members, gang bangers, or whatever, they are your sons. They your daughters. Why you can't talk to them? Where the disconnect go? And if you can find out where the disconnect is, go solve that problem. Get back to who you used to be. It's because I remember it's always been gangs and certain things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there was a respect when they seen Big Mama come down the street. We didn't have the issues and the problems that occur now. Young people used to respect older people. And somebody came in, we don't know who it is, they came in and what they did to the people
Yes.
is duped them, put a wool over their eyes, got them believing they're going to get somewhere. That's what they do with the finances. That's why we have what? All our celebrities, all we
Yep.
talk about is what? Finances.
Finance.
Who got the money? That's why rappers, what they do, rap about finances. You know they shouldn't be looked upon as role models because
No,
90% of them are not role models.
at all.
We understand that. First of all, why would you go pay somebody and look up to them when they say they're going to take your woman and take your money? That's not somebody I'm gonna look up to as a role model. But hey, if he got a message and that's the message he want to send out, it's okay. He has the right to because he has a group of people. But the majority, mature people know it's baloney. That's all I'm saying. It's baloney. It's garbage. We know that. So we ain't even got to argue about that. We don't even have to give them airtime. The
Right.
only reason we give them airtime is because the educated people is going into your pocket and they have you thinking about voting and are you a Democrat or a Republican when you don't even know who you are as a person.
Person.
You need to grow up. That's the problem. In our community, we need to just grow up and be mature and talk to each other like we got some respect because
Yeah.
our young men and women are being slayed. We should not have all this media coverage of our people dying like this. It's just show me, tell me you can find me at jamescaneexperience.com. You can send me videos of
Right.
other people
Please do.
that's in the headlines as the black community has been in the headlines lately. Let's make other people's birthdays a celebration for not just them, but for us too. We have birthdays. Don't we want to make it? And it's the sad thing is some people will not make it to their next birthday. And then some people will have that birthday and that's the last birthday that I have. Sad to say, but that's our species. That's how we created. I didn't make that up. That's just the world's design. But one thing we do know, we must keep going in a positive direction if we want to survive in our species, the human species, is because people that are shaded, light or dark, is enemies to themselves.
Yeah.
For why? I do not know. That's bigger than my pay grade. But I tell you this, there's a solution if you want one, because you know better than me and I'm no better than you. So we'll just move on to the next one because I'm getting heated in there. As you
I
see,
know
I'm sweating and
it's hot.
everything because this
It's
is like,
hot today, people
yeah,
out
it
there.
is. This is a topic. So I'm gonna have to turn this air conditioner on because I tried to do it with no background noise, but it's
Yeah,
not working. So
it's
I'm gonna slide to the side.
it's hard. So the question for our listeners is: if violence can be learned across generations, can empathy also be taught across generations? What responsibilities do families, neighbors, and schools, churches, and communities leaders have in breaking the cycle?
Well, I say, James Kane says a lot
A lot.
because we can stop the violence like we used to. Remember, I know they did in New York, LA, and a lot of big cities, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We used to have a group of individuals that could go talk to the other people or whoever the gangs in that area, and they say, "Look, man, hands off on these certain
Yes.
individuals
Yes.
because we try to send them to college or whatever." And
Yeah.
then plus, your uncles or whatever, they were peers in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they could go talk, hey man, what y'all over there doing? Why are you hanging out with those brothers? Now, it's okay to choose what you choose. If you choose to be on the block, that's your choice.
Yeah.
But everybody can't be on the block, and everybody's not built for the block. That's why 48 hours exists. Because everybody ain't built for what they tried to do. But you still want to do what you're not designed to do. You're
Yeah.
going away from your creation, and that's your mom and your father. In that household, you were somebody else. You come out in the streets, and now you're somebody else. No, you're still a person that was in your parents' household. That's who you really are. But you're coming out here is because you think tough. What is tough? Looking in the mirror, making faces like that is structural to say something's
Yeah.
wrong. We have took something's wrong like a stomach ache and made it into I'm looking hard, like looking at people like you ready to boo boo. And then you like that's looking hard. No, for real. It's just getting outrageous. It's because back then, people who was hard, you knew who was hard.
Yeah.
They had them hands and they would talk to you calmly or whatever. And they would whoop on you. What happened to the days when the young man talked back to his mama And then the black men used to come and say, "What, boy? You talking back to your mama? Oh yeah, come on in here. Come in the backyard. They go get little Johnny, man, little
Right.
Earl. You know, they come back in there and wear him out. Yeah, I bet she wouldn't talk to his mama like that no more. He'll wait till little Earl and them go to jail or something before he start talking about it again. What happened to those days, the 60s and the 70s? It was beautiful. We didn't have much, but we had each other.
Yes, we do.
I give all our celebrities resources back if we can have each other again. Because that's how they became a celebrity to the people. We had to say okay first, and then everyone non-black started marketing them and selling them tickets because most of the time, who buys those CDs? Who has the money to put it out in the media and make it go viral and
Yeah.
put it all? We don't.
At all.
No. See, this platform, I'm using KCAA radio
Yeah. That's true.
to speak to you today. And someone else owns this radio station. So I got to keep it clean for the machine, but I'm still going to give you what's in my heart. So therefore, when I do leave this earth, I know that I've repented in the way that I thought and raised the young people that's coming up below me
Yeah.
in different generations. So is there anything we still have on the sheet?
No, we don't. I just want to say for our elders, keep in mind, children they learn not only through what they're told, but by observing how the adults around them treat other, handle and conflict, express emotions, and respond to people in need.
Yes. Well, we're going to go to our next segment. It's called
Yes.
Reading for the Blind. Can you take us on a quick break, Skittles?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, no problem, no problem.
Yes, we're coming in. And my next co-host is the boss. She's going to read to you what we call the Reading for the Blind. You got to get in the mic, boss. Come on now, please.
Leviticus 26:29. You will eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters.
Just read off. Read off.
Deuteronomy 28:53 to 55. You'll eat your own children, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom the Lord gave you, on account of the siege and the distress with which your enemy will oppose you. Even the compassionate man among you, the sensitive one, will look in his eyes towards his brother, his beloved wife, and his surviving sons, whom he spared. He will withhold from them, each of them, the flesh of his sons that he is eating, since there will be nothing left, on account of the siege and the distress with which your enemy will oppress you in all your cities.
You have anything you want to speak on cannibalistic people in the community?
Um, Not really. I just know that it's a very rare thing to happen, and it happens in a lot of urban tribes still to this day.
You got to speak in the mic, but we're talking about cannibalistic people in the city, not cannibals as in itself. But that's okay. I mean, that is a good statement.
Yeah.
And cannibalism does exist. It's a real thing, but this is not about eating human flesh per se.
Yeah.
This is about the conditions that eat people and cause people to die by not physically eating them with your own mouth. It's your behavior.
Uh,
Are you done?
no, I still have two more.
Okay.
2 Kings
Speak in the
6:28.
mic. Come on, baby.
Then he asked her, "What's the matter?" She answered, "This woman gave to me. Give up your son so we may eat him today, and tomorrow we'll eat my son." The last one is Jeremiah 19:9. "I will make them eat the flesh of their sons and daughters, and they will eat one another's flesh because their enemies will press the sage so hard against them to destroy them."
You done? Anything you want to say about that? No.
I feel like I feel like some of these aren't really talking about cannibalism as in you're actually eating another person. I feel like it's a metaphor for something deeper because the Bible doesn't consist of actual things that happen. A lot of these things that they talk about are metaphors to something that is a very big topic. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Sorry about that. My studio is it's still under construction, so we're pushing the mic and everything. But the message is great though. So little technical difficulties, but that happens when you're trying to be an owner and not a consumer. And but it's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with being a consumer because I need you. I need you to
Yeah.
go on James BoKane Experience, press that like button, subscribe, view. Also, you can go to the YouTube at James Kane Experiences. This is my radio show. But the James BoKane Experience is where I go and have my news flashes, public announcements, and uncensored. And you can also find me at James Kane Experience on Spotify, Amazon, and iHeart. Also, what she was speaking of and reading that, because I wanted you to know that cannibalistic behavior exists. It's even spiritually. It's in your Bible. Those who believe in the Bible and then those who are spiritualists, we understand this exists. And it's always talk about certain savages and all these. Some people are not savages. Some people, this is their tradition. And some people had to keep the species going is because where they were that there was
Yeah.
no food. Food was rare. So they started eating themselves to survive. But we look at this like, oh wow, we really talking about cannibalistic behavior. I'm not talking about cannibalism as itself. It does exist. I'm talking about cannibalism as a trait that's in a person that devours his community. And today we're talking about the number one trait, severe violence. So, in that spiritual reading, the Most High, the creator of all, was speaking of how his people went away against his traditions, his rules, his understanding, their God. They wanted another God. So their opponent, oppressor, came in, like America, came in and crushed them. So they started eating themselves, becoming severely violent among themselves, interracial violence among themselves. So maybe tomorrow, when you speak to your creator, you will apologize because you have been disobedient. And as you see what the scripture reads about disobedient people, that things of this nature or your disobedient, your sinful ways will not be tolerated. Or talk to your pastor, clergyman, bishop, anyone that has a spiritual awakening to understand what these passages are is because it affects me, you, and everyone in the community today is because we need to put a cap, meaning stop the flow of severe violence in our neighborhoods. Enough is enough.
Yes.
There's a new change coming. Some say the Mashiach is on his way back. So those who don't know, pick up your Bible, read it, ask your fellow Jewish brother who is the Mashiach. I'm pretty sure they will tell you. You can even ask someone, your Islamic brother. He understands who that is as well. Peace to all. So now we're going to move into Inland Raiders and Skittles Sports Weekly Recap. Give us a
Yes.
Skittle, give us a drum roll.
Oh, drum roll is. And on that note, LeBron James, really? 76ers? You should have kept your ass in LA. I'm like, he gonna be on my mind until he started playing. Why they over here saying that the move makes the 76ers one of the favorite in the Eastern Conference along the defending champions Knicks? Now that he's over there.
I do say that's an awesome team, but they got to win because there's a lot of people stacked the deck,
Yeah.
and he's doing a Kevin Durant Jr. He's chasing a ring, which he can do that. But
Yeah.
when we speak of the Kareems, the Magics, and all those, them dudes stuck primarily with one team. Kareem went to another team, but he won a championship
Yeah, he
with
did.
Milwaukee. Then he went to the Lakers and dominated. Magic dominated. Bird dominated. One team. So when you want to say the GOAT and greatest of all time, they didn't chase a ring with the best. They took the best that they had and won a ring with it.
Yes.
LeBron's the Don. But LA said it's time for Don Luca. It's the new Don, but do you blame them? Youth.
No.
Youth is our strength. So the Lakers is, hey, get out now. Because LeBron gone this year, next year, it don't
Yeah,
matter.
it don't matter.
You know, he's one of the best dudes I have ever seen play some basketball. And I like him because he's a family man.
Yes.
He's a role model for black excellence.
In
I
his
give
community,
LeBron
too.
that.
Yes.
You know, he hires blacks. He's putting jobs out there for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving back to his people like everybody give back to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we ask for is our celebrities, our leaders to invest back in the people who made you the celebrity and made you the leader. One more thing I'm gonna talk about. Raiders. I got to
Uh-oh.
speak about the Raiders real quick because
Yes.
we short on time. Camp have started, training camp.
Yes, it
The
has.
rookies have come in, and Raiders got some nice rookies, and everyone signed down. For those who don't know, McCoy and Mendoza signed their rookie contracts. So everyone in the Raider Nation, we're vigilant and we're watching because we're excited for a new chapter in Raiderville. And that's why I am the Inland Raider, because we gonna get back to who we are, the
Yes, we
commitment
are.
to excellence. And you see, I got my Lakers shirt on because I'm proud of those Lakers. LeBron left, but we still built a team.
Yes, you
and
did.
we'll be bringing up more Laker news.
Yes.
Salute to Cameron Carr for the Summer League, and I cannot pronounce the other guy's name that showed a lot of athleticism and slamming on everybody. So I will be able to pronounce his name. Anything else, Skittles, while we have a short time?
Yeah, we can't forget about the WNBA. You know, the league
yes.
biggest stars, including Kathleen Clark, Paige, and Brianna Swords, all set to complete in Chicago. The game also celebrates the WNBA 30th anniversary with a charity prize pool.
Yes, look at the W. Shout out. That's what I'm talking about. Throw the girls in. We cannot survive without the women.
Yes.
So that's sports. That's anything in life. we love the ladies, and hopefully, ladies, you love us. Because sometimes I know y'all don't want to put up with us, but you love us because you create us as we create you. So we're going to turn that off. Thumbs up to the WBA. I'm a
Yes.
Sparks fan. I run with the Sparks. That's my hometown, so I run with it because you know Pomona is LA County. I know
Yep.
a lot of y'all think it's the Inland Empire, but me, Inland Empire, y'all have greatness out here as well
Yes.
because one of the baddest quarterbacks is playing on the Washington Redskins. So you know San Bernardino, give it up, Inland Empire, Riverside, and all around us. We're gonna get out of here, but remember, if your life is not going right, restructure, regroup, refocus on what you have left. Small disclaimer, this is not anything that involves the views of KCAA Radio or the James Kane Experience. We're out. Peace.